Hey guys, just wanted to hop in and quickly say that this video has already been well past discussed by multiple other content creators over the past few days, or rather past 5 to 6 days, because this topic is just, we've known about this EZA for a while. We know about this guy. He's literally in game now. So much of the stuff that I am going to be doing in this video is things that you have already seen in showcases. So the numbers that we calculate here will have already been displayed in game for you guys. They will be accurate, obviously. They were almost inaccurate, but I do cover that later on in the video. So I understand that this is a little bit late. I'm late. Shocker. So I get that. Like, I just wanted to let you guys know that I understand that. The only reason I'm posting this is because I had a lot of fun with this video and I really didn't want to scrap it even after the fact of something that again gets brought up later on. I still really hated the idea of scrapping this recording, so I wanted to post it for you guys. I had a lot of fun recording it. I had a lot of fun doing the commentary, and I definitely had a ton of fun with the edit at the very end, as well as maybe some edits I'll sprinkle in throughout. I'm not sure yet. I'm still not done editing. I just wanted to record this, let you guys know that this video is going to be more so of a fun post than a fun shit post than a serious discussion that I posted on time, because obviously I'm very late and that's because of global anniversary. So please don't hate me. Okay, bye. See ya. What's going on, everybody? Holden here, back on the Arcade channel, and today we're going to be talking about TEQ Vegito Blue. His EZA his EZA info was dropped earlier today. It's been out for a while now. I think about 10 hours. I'm not sure. I mean, it's been a minute. I don't feel like counting it, but yeah, it's been out for a while. And I actually wanted to, again, obviously, make a video about this. I told myself that I wasn't going to make a video for my channel until the anniversary for Global started, but there was a little bit of a problem with that. It seems like a lot of people are trashing on this guy's EZA. To the extent where I felt like I was a little bit baffled. So, it was a bit wacky, so much so that I really just wanted to talk about it and make a video out of this, discussion, basically. I guess you could say that it brought me out of my pre-Annie hiatus. I don't know. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. Tomorrow I'm going to be, I'm going to try, if I'm correct on when these banners drop, I'm going to put out a video of me doing the 300 stone 77 unit multi. I think that's tomorrow night. I think. Could be wrong. I'm EST, so it would be tomorrow night for me, I think. Again, not sure, but I think that's when it drops. Anyway, I'm tired of saying that sentence. So yeah, there will be another video dropping either tomorrow night or the next day. And then obviously whenever the actual banners drop, I'm going to be doing videos on that as well. But for now, we're going to be doing this video, and there are some things I would like to go over when it concerns TEQ Vegito Blue's EZA. For one, I would like to talk about his offense and how people are perceiving his offense. I would especially like to talk about his defense. His defense above all else I want to talk about. And then, of course, I actually want to talk about his key and his partners. And then after we go over that for a little bit, we're going to go over each point a little bit briefly. Defense we're going to go really into, but, the other points we'll go in briefly. And again, after we finish all this, then we're going to look through these these up here. So, yeah, a lot in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, yeah, another thing. I'm going to be going over this guy, like, a little bit at the end there. But mainly I just want to talk about Vegito. I mean, this guy's probably getting more disrespect than Vegito, but I feel like he kind of deserves it, whereas Vegito doesn't. So anyway, let's talk about Vegito Blue, right? So his EZA, he's, obviously he still infinitely stacks attack. He disables enemy's guard now on his super attack, which is really cool. I mean, it's not like, it's not monumental, obviously, but I say it's really cool because that means that units cannot stop his damage, so that's good. And he still, he does immense damage, obviously. His leader skill is, 4 key 140. I mean, 140 is just bad now. Let's be honest, but 4 key is nice, so that's cool. And again, it's still all super class allies, so you can make a pretty nasty team with that. But if it's not 200%, it doesn't really matter, and it's not. So his passive, everybody's been talking about it. I mean, he's got 150% defense at the start of turn. That means that'll activate right away. For those of you who are curious, the defense stacks of the super attack will also apply at the start of turn on every turn following the stack, obviously. So definitely, like turn 1, you're not going to have his defense raised before he even does a super attack. I feel like that should go unspoken. Which means that any stacks to his defense that he had in turn 1 will show up on turn 3, and then the stacks from turn 3 will show up on turn 5, and so on and so forth like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So he's going to have 150 times his stacks here. He stacks attack and defense by 20%, so that's 150 times 20x, basically. X being the amount of supers that he does, and 20 being how much he raises his defense. So that's already pretty good, especially with his stats. If we scroll down here, we can actually... Oh, not that far down. Oh. Oh, his EZA stats aren't listed. Why aren't they listed? Does the Dokkan Wiki not know that you can calc his stats? That they're not random? That's pretty weird. Wait, does Rose have his? Huh. I mean, I have the stats on hand, but that's weird. Anyway, I mean, I didn't have that pulled up, but I mean, I do have it on my phone. But anyway, his defense is, I'm pretty sure it's 10,995. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to look up his attack, I think. Shit, I didn't think that would be a problem. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let me like take like a brief moment, like a little pause, and then I'll bring them up. I know his defense, I just don't know his sec. So give me one quick sec, guys. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. So credit to Black Piccolo, interesting name, for this post here on the Reddit, on the Dokkan subreddit, obviously right here. And you can see these are the stats for these two units. VB stats are pretty crazy. Rose stats are also very good, obviously. So yeah, 10,955, and then 20,199 attack. So anyway, yeah, 10,955 was it, right? 10,955, yeah. Okay. So yeah, he has 10,955 defense. He's getting 150% defense at the start of turn, again, times 20% X. So 20x, 20 being the stack again, and then X being the amount of super. So we got that part. Then he also gets defense plus 50% whenever he attacks. So the way that this works is that this 50% does not add to this 150%. It's not a start of turn thing. It is it's a multiplicative buff. It calculates in a separate phase, and what I mean by that is that this buff triggers at a different time than this buff. And the actual game itself, like, you know, Dokkan, will, whenever it's running for his numbers, it will run this number, this buff. It'll run that after this buff, which means that these two numbers right here will multiply together. The wiki actually lists it down here, what that buff results in. So that'd be 275% defense when attacking. For the equation, if you're curious, 150% times 50%, and then it would be times 20x, so 20% x. The 150 obviously for start of turn, 50% for his on attack buff that we have here, and then 20% x being for his stacks, and how many stacks he's doing, basically, right? So yeah, that's how his defense works. Again, he has 10,955 defense, base defense, and he has one defense link, which is Fuse Fighter, which, you know, obviously not the greatest, but it's better than nothing, right? His additional attacks are now guaranteed. They used to be a great chance to launch up to 2. So what that would mean is that he would get one additional attack guaranteed, and then the second would be a 70% chance to activate. But now both of them are guaranteed. Both additionals are guaranteed, and each of them have a 30% chance to be a super. And then now, instead of doing 50% attack up to 150% per attack performed, it's 20% attack up to 200% for each attack performed. And then they also added on this like a little buff here, where he gets 3 key and a 30% chance to crit after he receives an attack for that turn that he receives an attack. Not really going to be that relevant for our discussion today, because we are mainly going to be talking about his performance and the hardest content in the game, which is Red Zone. However, this would be useful against a really powerful AGL boss, such as, for example, full power Broly, especially considering how long it might take someone to get to that phase. because by then he's going to have a ton of defense at the start of the turn, as well as being type advantage, obviously, since he is tech, as you can see here. But outside of like that situation where he has type advantage, this is really not that important for red zone. But he doesn't really need anything. So we've covered that. So let's go over some things. His defense is actually really, really good. If we want to do his defense right now, that's why I have the calculator page up. Again, it's just 10, 9, 5, 5, and then we just do times 5. Now, times 5 will be for a 200% leader skill, which is the LR God's leader skill. And the reason why it's 5 and not 4, because, 200% leader skills, whenever you're running 2 of them, you have 200 plus 200. That's 400%. 400% is actually times 5 and not times 4, so we're going to do times 5. And then we get 54,775. That's what his defense would be without his passive skill. But he has a passive skill. He has 150%, so we got to do times 2.5. Boom. So we have 136,937. That's what we got right now. Let's add on his, one little fuse fighter link, right? Let's add that on. 143,784 start of turn defense. That's what we're cooking with right now. Okay? Now, let's do his on-attack buff, which is 1.5, because it's 50% right here. So that's 50%. Let's add that on. And there we go, 215,000, right? So that's the number that he's sitting at right now, defensively, for this turn, without accounting for the super attack stack. So now let's apply his first super attack stack. Now, for his attack, the first super will not increase his attack, but the second one will. This does not apply for his defense. The first defensive stack will apply. It is not the same as a attack stack for super attack effects exclusively I'm talking about here. So let's do that. 258,000, right? After one super, 260k defense after one super. If we want to do 2 supers, let's divide by 1.2. And then let's do 2 supers. Let's do 1.4. Obviously, he stacks by 20% per turn, so that's 301,000 defense after just 2 supers. Mind you, if you're running him at 15 additional, which you should, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about the hardest content in the game, you should run him at 15 additional. If we're doing that, then his average amount of super attacks per turn would be 2. Obviously, this will change. This can vary, but you have to realize it's a 30% chance to proc twice in a row. So that's 30% being rolled 2 times, and then he's got his additional from the hidden potential system, which is a 30% chance to proc, because it's level 15 additional, and that 30% rolls 3 separate times. It rolls for his first attack, his first additional, and then his second additional. So that would mean that would be 30% rolled 3 times. So the likelihood of him getting the 4th attack, his 3rd additional, is very high. And if he does get it, it's a 50% chance for that to be a super attack. And not 50%. It's actually a little bit less than that. But I mean, just for simplicity's sake, we'll just say 50, right? Like, who cares, right? But it's really more so around, like, I think 30-ish, I think. But I mean, again, I'm not really that much of an expert at this. I'm not a database guy, but yeah. So that's a lot of chances for him to get his super attack off. So obviously, as you can see, like, this likelihood of him getting like 2 supers per turn is very high, right? Obviously, it's more likely that he'll get 2 supers than he'll get 1. But it's less likely that he'll go 2 supers than he'll get 3 or 4, right? But again, turn 1 after just 2 supers, he's at 300k. We just did the math for you in front of your face. Now, why is that such a problem for people? Well, some people are like, well, what if he just does an additional super ever on any turn that he's on? Well, my friend, if he does do that, let's say that you're in the red zone. 3 turns with TEQ VB on rotation and never additional super. We'd have turn 1, turn 5, and, turn 1, turn 3, turn 5, and most likely turn 7, and most likely turn 9. But let's just say turn 7, right? That's 4 turns. So 4 stacks. What does 4 stacks look like with our boy TEQ Vegito Blue? 388k. So that means, in simplistic terms, that basically only the final bosses of the latter half stages of red zone could damage him with normals on turn 7. if he never additional supers. If he never additional supers, only the final bosses could damage him with normals. Only them. And that, again, that's if he never additional supers for 4 turns, 4 appearances, no additional supers. Is that really reasonable? Not really. I don't... That doesn't sound reasonable to me. I hope that doesn't sound reasonable to you, but it could happen, right? I mean, it could happen. Well, you know what else could happen? You know what else could happen, Dokkan Fan 2073? What else could happen is that your Fizz Future Gohan gets supered right away, turn 1, before he attacks. That could happen, you know? That could easily happen. Let's say that your Trunks and Vegeta get locked in slot 2. And it's an enemy that has type advantage against them, for example. That could happen. You know, I mean, they could take damage from that too. Gods or the 4s get locked slot 1, they get supered. That can happen, right? You don't have a unit to put in slot 1, the only good one is the year 7s. They get supered. That can happen. It's all RNG dependent. What if your gods get locked in slot 7? They get no stacks by the time you get to the second phase of the event for Omega, for example. You're going to be taking so much damage from normals. That could happen. So, saying it's RNG dependent, really, it's kind of a weird argument. I mean, like, I understand where you're coming from. Whenever you're saying, oh, his defense is RNG dependent. Everything in this game is RNG dependent. But I understand where you're coming from whenever it concerns this guy's defense. However, it's a little bit disingenuous. You have to be really screwed over from the RNG to unironically miss an additional super from this guy with this kit. To miss an additional super 4 times in a row. 4 turns, 4 appearances of this guy, and he does an additional super once on any of them. You know how likely that is? It is astronomically low. It's like a 3 or 5% chance. Like, it's got to be like super low. I don't feel like counting that, but yeah, it's got to be really, really, really low. It has to be, and you know it is. Everyone knows it is. Like, come on, don't act like it's not. So saying that his defense is RNG dependent, that's stupid. What would really? We'll get to that in a minute. What would his defense really look like on turn 4? Or on his 4th appearance, if he got 2 additional supers every turn, on average, right? So that would be 2 per turn. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. The reason I say 2 is for his 20% per super. So that'd be 8 times 20, obviously, for 160%. So right here, we would do times 2.6. That would be his defense after he does... what would that be, like 8 super attacks? Sounds like a lot, but again, on average, he does get 2 supers. 560k. 560k, he tanks every normal in the game except for in Omegas. That's what that is. On just his 4th appearance. This is, again, turn 7. Turn 1 is his 1st. Turn 3 is his 2nd. Turn 5 is his 3rd. Turn 7 is his 4th. Do you think, in your honest opinion, you're come to Jesus, I have both hands clasped together, I'm on my hands and knees, or hands and elbows since your hands are clasped together, praying to God? Do you really think that you're going to get through most red zone bosses by turn 7? You defense arguers, you defense advocates, you defense lovers, do you guys get done with the event by turn 7? If so, then on average, this is enough. Right here, 560k, that's enough on average. And that's what he's going to look like. That's what he's normally going to output. That'll be the normal output for him in red zone by turn 7. By the final boss, that's how much defense he has. Will he get one shot by supers? Yes. Duh. Who doesn't get one shot by supers? The gods can get one shot by supers. The 4s can get one shot by supers. EZA 4Q, one shot by supers. EZA 4 Vegeta, one shot by supers. Int Super Vegeta, one shot. Fizz Gogeta, one shot. Like, I can keep going down the line. The only top tier LR who doesn't get one shot by a super in every single scenario is like Trunks and Vegeta, and even they can die in a very specific setup, obviously. But I'm saying, like, there's like virtually no unit right now who will never die from super. Literally none. Like, the only one that comes to mind is, like, Golden Frieza, but again, like, he can get one-shot later on by a tech enemy. So it's like, saying he can get one-shot by supers is such a weird, like, remark. Like what, like, I mean, I guess, like, Fizz Future Gohan can't get one-shot. Well, what if AoE Broly hits him? What then? Does he not get one shot? I mean, like, let's be honest here. Does he not get one shot? Yeah, he kind of does. You know what I mean? So it's really, I mean, unless he has, like, tons of defensive support, then, like, sure. Or unless he's, like, fully built up his DR. Even then, I would question if he still survives it. Even if he tanked it, I can't fathom that he wouldn't cause you to die because the other units would also still take damage. But that's besides the point. It's such a strange argument to say, well, it may be enough to tank normals, but he can't take a super. Like, and? Who cares? Like, when does that matter? SSBE Vegeta was the best TUR EZA, wasn't he? Like, not even, like, what, like 3 months ago or something like that? I don't know. I mean, I don't keep track of time. But, like not too long ago, he's the best EZA TUR to everybody. He can't take supers. He dies. Like, what is this? What is this flip-flop that we have going on here? Doesn't make any sense to me. So, no. His defense is not bad. But, okay, real quick. Just want to do something real quick. Let's say he only gets 2 supers on 2 out of his 4 appearances, okay? So that'd be what? 4... So that'd be like what? Like 20, 40, 60, 80, right? Plus 20 would be 100. Plus net 20 is 120. So that's times 2.2. If he only double supers on 2 turns out of the 4 that he shows up. Look at that! He's still not taking damage from normals. Isn't that wacky? Like, dude, it's so hard to extract. Oh, by the way, if anybody's gonna say, well, he'll take damage from Bojack, no, he won't. Actually, cutie, he won't take damage from Bojack. Bojack with class advantage and even with the highest amount of damage variance only does below 400k damage per normal. So no. This wouldn't take damage from Bojack. And this is if he misses his additional super twice out of the 4 turns that he shows up. Even if he misses it all the times that he doesn't show up, as we already pointed out, even if he misses it every single time, guess what, Buckaroo? He's still tanking Bojack. That's wild, isn't it? He's still tanking full power Broly. That's wild, isn't it? It's almost like his defense is good. Crazy, right? That's so bonkers, right, guys? So, yeah, as I've said, I wanted to go in on his defense. I know people get scared by the calculator. Oh no, not the mean calculator, but this game is a number simulator. If you think that that's not true, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Because that's how this game works. I can tell you what his defense will be right away because I just know how the game does its math. And you can learn that too easily. Just look it up. Like, it's not hard. So yeah, that's his defense. His offense, right? Let's go over his offense, shall we? Let's go over this guy's offense. I'm not going to pull out the APT post quite yet, okay? I'm not going to pull that out quite yet. I might need to reopen my calculator, actually. I don't know why I closed that, but let's just not open it up, right? His first attack, obviously, he's only got 20%. His second attack, 40%. His third attack, 60%. Fourth attack, 80%. 80% on his fourth attack with 20,200 attack. The highest 12 key multiplier in the game, 160%. %82 attack from links. Sorry, I had to count that up. Okay, I don't memorize this shit. I'm not that much of a loser. An immense 15, which is 705% attack, by the way, with infinitely stacking. That will hit hard, even on just his fourth attack. And if you were to count all the attacks he did on this first turn, not that bad, actually. I mean, he's around like 6.9 to 9 mil APT wise. I wasn't gonna bring. I'm not gonna show you the posts yet, obviously, but that's where he's he's chilling around there, right? On just his first turn. Then the second turn happens. 100%, 120%, 140%, 160% on just his second turn. Third turn, fully built up. Bad damage. Bad damage. Turn 2. He's got 100% attack with this kit. 100% attack on his first attack. 120% attack on his second attack. 140% on his third. 160 on his fourth. And we're saying he does bad damage on just his second appearance. On turn 3, that's what he has with the ability to do 4 supers in one turn. And with the ability to crit. That's what we're calling his bad damage. Really? Are we being serious? SSB can't outdamage him. Maybe turn 1 SSB does more. Maybe. I could see that argument. Everything after that, no. He does not. You add support into the mix? Absolutely not. Because guess what? The way that this buff works right here, it's per attack perform. This buff works the same way as this buff. Because it's not start of turn, it's on attack, which means that if you have support, which is which if you have support from a support unit for attack, it'll be start of turn. Whereas this is on attack, it's in a different phase, which means that 40% support, for example, let's just say it's 40%. That 40% is getting multiplied by this number right here. It's not getting added. So no, there's like no reality where this guy isn't the hardest hitting EZA unit. There's none. He is the hardest hitting EZA unit. By far. And in Red Zone, especially, he's the hardest hitting EZA unit. It's not even close. In Red Zone, he's the hardest hitting. He's out damaging every LR EZA in Red Zone. By the time he's fully built up, literally no one competes with him except transformed in SV. And you know what the funny thing is about that? If this guy has support and in SVS support, this guy hits harder. I'm not joking. He hits that hard whenever he's fully built up. And we think he has bad damage. Turn 3 doing 4.9, 5.4, 6.3, back to back to back. All can crit. He can do a fourth one. Bad damage? Really? You serious? Well, my friends, I don't think I agree. I don't think I agree with that remark. Let's talk about his links though. I actually have the link tool pulled up here. His links obviously not the greatest. The team that he has his 2% leader skill on does not run over into Flash as the main link. It runs prepared for battle, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't get this link off, or this link for that matter. The only reason I'm singling out these links is because these are his key links. So that's what matters, especially since the only key he gains in passive is something that you won't see in Red Zone 9 times out of 10 because you need to be hit first. So yeah, we're not going to count that. Obviously, these two are dead. However, I would like to point out that both of these guys will probably EZA within the next year or two. When they EZA, they both share 6 links. And they both share 5 key with them, so he's auto-supering. So just keep that in mind. Here are characters that share 5 common links. This guy's not going to EZA this year. SSJ4 Xeno Vegito EZAs next year. Guaranteed, by the way. Like he will EZA next year. For this year, actually, who's EZAing is... Where is he at? This guy. This guy is EZAing this year. But we'll get to him in a second. So yeah, he's not EZAing this year. He's already EZA'd. This is a very deadly combo if you have NSV out and ready, and if he still has his DR active. This guy's old, doesn't matter. This guy's old, doesn't matter. This guy will EZA very soon, obviously. So again, yeah, like his partners may not seem the greatest to the, you know what I mean, to the average person, right? I mean, like, yeah. Let's not kid around, okay? And we're gonna get to many more who are even better than this, right? But yeah, so his partners may not seem the greatest right now to everyone, but very soon they're just gonna keep getting better and better. These guys are gonna EZA. He's gonna EZA. He can EZA. He can EZA. Like tons of hell. Even this guy right here. There's so many units that can still EZA and make this guy's partners just shoot up in value. But for the current time, we have this guy who's great. this guy's really great. This guy's amazing, very underrated. I think these guys are in the same league pretty much, but I would prefer this guy. So we got 3 units so far. These guys don't share any key, so I wouldn't call them a good partnership. But it's not impossible for this rotation to work, because you will have a bunch of floating supports, or you will have a bunch of orb changers, especially a certain guy right here. Speaking of this guy's an amazing partner. I mean, insane. He's sharing Over in a Flash, sharing Super Saiyan, Warrior Gods, and Fierce Battle. Tons of attack being shared with this guy, and he's providing rainbows, and he's slot 1 for the hardest red zone, right? So yeah, this combo, this God Goku, plus this Vegito Blue against Broly, absolutely shreds that event. It destroys it. TEQ Gogeta, he can be okay. Transform Fizz Gogeta, he can be alright. The Blue Boys, they're dead. For this specific rotation, they're dead. This guy's gonna be cool after EZAs, as I already said. He'll be cool after EZAs. Let's see, what else can we talk about here that is pretty good. I mean, obviously, these guys can be great. Well, I mean, not great, but they can be solid. But I wouldn't run that as a rotation. Obviously, he's going to be a monster after EZAs. I'm positive this guy could be really good. So yeah, there's tons of, like, as I keep saying, there's so many units that once the EZA, this guy's going to get even better than he already is. Again, mind you, you can run him next to God Goku. You can run him next to the Gods, to 4 Vegeta, to 3 tanks, to NSV. So many great units already. And he's getting so many more partners as time goes on. Let's go down to 3 links. Not that many, but we can still talk about it. This is not going to be a good enough rotation. They don't share that many attack links, nor do they share any key links. This is not a good rotation because this guy's dead. No. This guy might be interesting after EZA, I guess. And Majin Vegeta could actually work with this guy. Kinda, if you're lucky. So that's pretty interesting, though they both want orbs. Obviously, you can give him more orbs since they would share 3 key, and Vegeta would only be 3 key. You can give this guy 6 orbs, but I wouldn't really recommend it. He's neat. I forgot to mention that, isn't there another one that was up here? Oh, no, I guess he's further down, but yeah, no, he's neat, but I wouldn't run it. Let's see, who else? I'm forgetting somebody. This guy's gonna EZA. I could have sworn I was forgetting someone, but I don't know who it is. These guys would be an okay combo. I wouldn't really recommend running it, but it could be where... Oh, I see who I'm forgetting now. This guy. This could work for most red zone events, because usually he won't be running out of his passive in the earlier red zone. That's why I said most, because most red zone early on, you know, the majority of red zone, like 1 through 4, usually doesn't last more than 10 turns. There are exceptions, obviously. But a good chunk of red zone doesn't last more than 10 turns on a 200% leader skill, so that could be a decent rotation, actually. But yeah, no, you guys get the picture. I mean, we're talking about his key and his partners here. I mean, 1, 2, 3 units already share key with him in terms of partners. 4, I mean, 5. Like, I mean, there's many different options that you can run with this guy. And it would work. I mean, you can even run these guys again and just run a floating support unit or a floating orb changer like this. Oh, no, here he is. Here's the other guy. This guy's pretty solid, actually. This guy's really good. I mean, not really good, but he can definitely put in some really good work. So I would also recommend checking this guy out if you guys haven't. He could be pretty decent. So yeah, I mean, again, like, saying that this guy has no partners is wrong. Don't ever think that. And saying that he has key problems is also pretty disingenuous unless you're running him next to these guys. And you're like, oh, it's pretty wanked if he's next to, like, TEQ EZA base Vegito. Like, nobody's running him next to TEQ EZA base fucking Vegito, Dokkan fan 2379, whatever the fuck your username would be. Nobody's running him next to that guy. We're talking about running him next to God Goku, which isn't wank. That's a legitimate rotation. We're talking about running him next to 3 tanks. Not wank, legitimate rotation. SSJ4 Gogeta, legitimate rotation. NSV, legitimate rotation in longer events. Like, these are rotations that are very possible, and I don't quite understand where this is coming from. But enough about that. We've talked about his attack, we've talked about his defense, we've talked about his links and his key and his partners. Let's get into what other people have to say. So let's look at what I said. I said, if you think TEQ VB isn't the best TUR, I meant EZA TUR, by the way. But if you think he isn't the best EZA TUR, you must think that red zone doesn't take longer than 5 turns to beat. Otherwise, you know that TEQ VB is literally stronger than 99% of the units in the game for these longer events that take 10 plus turns to complete. We have Zetsu here saying, I'd say he isn't the best TUR, but it's a debatable case. But he definitely is the best EZA TUR, no debate. Fizz SJ3 and Ginyu feel much better, to be honest. TEQ VB right below them. I agree, actually. I don't think this guy is on Fizz SJ3 Goku or Ginyu's level. I think whenever he's fully built up, he is definitely in that tier. But in general, no, especially since he doesn't offer any leader skill, especially since he doesn't have as good links as Fizz SJ3 Goku, and he doesn't have as good setups, I guess, as, like, you know, Goku and Ginyu. I mean, you could run him and Goku together, by the way, and they share four links over to Flash. Both do absurd bullshit damage. You know, just throwing it out there, by the way. But yeah. So that's what like my Twitter account. So that's what Zetsu said. Cool guy, check him out. Here we have 2mm defeater. Cool. I'm taking Fizz Future Go on, honestly, but you're not wrong. He can cook given he does enough supers. I said I understand that, but given that he averages 2 per turn, especially now that both additionals are guaranteed, there's really no if involved. In my opinion, of course, Future Gohan is a great tank, but he provides nothing else. He doesn't, but I'll get into that in a minute. Meanwhile, Fizz VB does 3Q levels of damage with better defense than 3Q, not than Future Gohan. Obviously, I wasn't arguing that. So what I meant by he provides something else, Fizz Future Gohan only is a great tank. He provides mid damage. Even with his built-in crit and a good attack stats, 6 million is not good, by the way. But 30% chance to crit, that's not enough. Most of you people who are running Fizz Future Gohan are not running him full crit anyway. You'd run him full additional. And 30% crit is not enough to make full additional worth it, I wouldn't say. Obviously, it's good with this guy, but that's only because his attack just shoots up through the roof per attack. So that's why that's so important for him. But for Fizz Future Gohan, most of you guys who are running him, you're just running him for his defense. So you'd run full additional, and he's really not going to hit that hard on average. He really isn't, because he doesn't have any built-in additionals in him, and he doesn't have any multiplicative buffs for his attack. It's just a bunch of start-of-turn buffs. He's not going to have most of his attack links active anyway. So no, Fizz Future Gohan does not do good damage. He does very mid damage, I would say. Even worse if he's not critting. All he does is tank. And he does great at that. I'm not discounting that. He does great at tanking. But, I mean, like, tanking supers and normals versus tanking normals and doing, like, literally SSJ3 levels of damage whenever he's fully built up. I'd take that over tanking supers, personally, especially since Future Gohan can still get caught. Like, right away in the event, he can get caught by type disadvantage as well. Hell, he could even get caught by, like, super strong supers. Like, for example, AGL Broly can do some damage to him before Fizz Future Gohan super attacks himself. So, yeah, I personally, I see the love for Fizz Future Gohan. I don't agree with it. So, let's look at some of these tweets that we got here. We have Rebirth77. Now, I'm seeing a lot of slander from the community regarding King VB. Which, true, by the way. Spit, my brother. Preach. So I decided to make up this debate of which EZA unit is better. Put your arguments below for which is better. Strength Beyond Gods, SSB Vegito versus SSBE Vegeta Observance of Pride. Yep. So that's what I think about this debate. Vegito has relative defense to Vegeta. If he doesn't super, if neither of them double super, Vegito has relative defense on turn 1. Turn 3, Vegito can end up catching up with Vegeta. Turn 5, it gets worse. Turn 7, worse. And again, this is assuming that Vegito doesn't pop off with his additional supers. This is averaging basically no supers, really. I mean, there's calcs down here for it. It's a little bit more than this. These numbers aren't completely accurate, but yeah, I mean, they're very close. So I don't want to like diss them or anything. Like those are pretty much basically correct. But like considering the fact that Vegito has basically similar defense than to SSBE for the first 3 turns, with very mid luck, I would say, because he has relative defense with 1 and 3 supers. Once you start getting 4, then it's like it's not really much of a contest, and then it just gets worse. And it gets worse as he gets more and more supers. And damage-wise, dude, like you're bullshitting me. If you really think that this unit can even come close to doing this, and to doing this with this much attack points, like no. Oh, and with this, by the way, just throwing that out there, you're high. You're high if you think that. Oh, and with more base attack, by the way, you're on drugs if you think that this guy hits harder. Drugs, not even close. Let's go to Platy. Platy's been being a naughty boy, bro. Let me just say that Platy's been a naughty fellow. But I think Platy sometimes just baits. But anyways, let's get into it. VB is literally just a worse LR dynamic Goku. Lol. Defensively. Usually, yes. On average, I think Namek Goku does average more defense. I think. I'd need to run calcs again myself, but I think he does average more defense. Not by a substantial amount, but he does average a little bit more defense. Not that it's that big of a deal. I mean, if you think Namek Goku's defense is bad, you think that any unit who can tank every boss for double digit, like every boss's normals for double digits, you must think that they just have bad defense. Vegito gets his defense faster. I will say that, but I think Namek Goku ends up getting more defense in the long haul. Again, I need to run the calcs on that. But anyway, let's not talk about the defense. Damage-wise, you're in the red zone, right? Let's make that clear. You're in the red zone. You're not doing his attack stats or his attack stacks. In the red zone, it's not even close. In other long events where you're stacking Namek Goku's attack against an extreme class enemy, yes, it could be close. Whenever you're counting for his active skill, yes, Namek Goku hits harder. This is the red zone where you're getting only 12 key supers. He does not hit harder. Turn 1, maybe. Turn 3, maybe. Like turn 1, turn 2, in terms of their appearance, so turn 1 and turn 3. Maybe. That's a maybe. Anything after that, no. Like, okay, I think turn 1 actually Namek Goku just does take the cake, but turn 3 and onward, turn 3 it's a maybe. Turn 5, no, not even close. It is completely a landslide in Vegito's favor. He embarrasses Namek Goku, and if you really care about the first turns when the event is at its easiest, and you're gonna argue for those first turns, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. If you really think that arguing for turn 1 and turn 3, if you really think that matters, you're dumb. You're stupid. I'm sorry. If you're going to argue for red zone, which takes longer, whenever everybody's like, oh, it takes longer than 10 turns, APT boys are stupid. If it takes longer than 10 turns, then why the hell do you give a shit about the first 3 turns? You don't. Be honest. Like, you don't care. So no, we're not going to consider that for damage. No, in the long haul, it's my GOAT, and it's not close. So Platy being a little bit sus there with that tweet. And I mean, what would I expect from Platy? I mean, if we scroll down here, I think he even made a Vegito EZA, and Platy was like, this would be how let's get his exact quote. How I would actually design TEQ VB's EZA for the current meta. This will be Akatsuki going absolutely crazy with him, BTW. So Platy is very against Vegito's defense, right? That's his biggest criticism. Let's take a look at what Platy did for Vegito's defense. 50% defense at start of turn. Okay, so that went down from 150% defense to start of turn. Okay. And then, let's see. 25%. So now he builds up defense. So, he only builds up defense to 150. So it's 50% defense times 150% defense. Wait. It's almost like It's almost like it's the same thing. That's really weird. Granted, before I get like, oh, no, you imbecile, before anybody says that, obviously I understand what he's going for with this. It's so that his defense will show up at the start of turn, but you're still not running him slot 1. Like, you're still not doing that. So this doesn't, again, it effectively doesn't change anything. Nobody's going to run this in slot 1 regardless. Even if this buff appears at the start of turn. Like visually at the start of turn, doesn't calculate, but even if it visually showed up at the start of turn, it wouldn't change anything. He's not going slot 1. You wouldn't put him there. So no, it's effectively the same unit, it just hits way harder. I will agree with that. He hits way harder. He doesn't need to hit this hard. If he actually was this EZA defensively, which is what Platty cares about again, which is the whole reason why I bring this up. But all Platty cares about really is defense. That's his biggest criticism for this unit. And defensively, he's literally the same fucking unit. Like, you made him the same unit. Offensively, this guy is literally better than the year 7s. So, yeah, people don't know what they're talking about. 275% attack. You think that's good? So, yeah, no. Platty's a little bit of a goofball. A little bit of the silly willies. Let's see what Minato says. I feel like TEQ VB's defenses are being a little bit overrated. By who? By me? I guess. On paper at the moment. No. He will look impressive if you get triple/quad 2. No. Turn 1 for sure, but realistically with a 30% chance, I feel like oftentimes you may just see 1 or 2 supers per turn. Makes a big difference. It does make a big difference, you're right. But you'll see 2 per turn. In fact, you'll see 3 and 2 more often than you'll see 1. So that's an L, honestly. That's a fat L from Minato. Let's just entertain you and say he got 1 or 2 per turn. If we go back to our calculator, might as well. Dude, fuck it, we'll just do it. I'm in the mood, okay? I'm in the mood. Let's go back to our calculator real quick, okay? Let's do his defense, okay? 10, 9, 5, 5. Are you following me? Let's do his leader skill, okay? Okay, or the God's leader skill. Now let's do his start of turn. All right. Got a start of turn. Nice, nice. Let's get his link in there. Okay. Okay, but wait. He won't have Fuse Fighter. Let's take away Fuse Fighter. He's not going to have that, you stupid idiot. Now let's add on his multiplicative buff. Okay. Okay. Now, let's say for 4 appearances, he supers. For 2 appearances, he supers twice. Another 2, he supers once. Okay, let's do 4 appearances, because that's when the event's gonna end. Okay, turn 7, the event ends. Okay, hypothetically, let's entertain him, right? That'll be 40 for each of the turns that he does 2, so that's 80. And then that'll be 40 for the 2 1 super turns. That's 120%. So let's do that real quick. Let's do that. Let's see. Huh. I don't... Look, Houston, I don't know. I think that's pretty good. I mean, maybe I'm dumb, but, I don't know. I mean, tanking every boss is normal as long as they don't have type advantage. That's pretty good, isn't it? Like, it's so dumb, man. It's so dumb. They're being a little overrated. No, they're not. Oh, dude. This is so much fun. I see why Truth does this now. This is great. Ooh, voice crack. I'm getting too excited. This is a lot of fun. This is so much fun. Just watching people just be wrong. I'm not even doing APT, bro. I'm just doing stat calcs, and I'm right. Just calcing his stats. Something that isn't subjective. This is objective. These numbers are cold, hard facts. This is what's in game. This is adorable. I love doing this. But as I said, I wasn't doing APT. But let's entertain the idea. Let's look at some APT, shall we? Belmod, by the way. You know, so Belmod guest appearance. Let's look at APT real quick. What do we got here? First appearance, 300k defense. It's like I said that. Second appearance, 383k defense. It's like I said that. Third appearance, 466k defense. It's like I said that. Let's move on. Sorry for the mic explosion that we have going on there. Let's go back here. Anyway, let's look at the attack. 6.9. This is without support, obviously, and this is without all of his links active. 6.9, first appearance. Pretty good. for just his first appearance. Second appearance, 12 million. Okay, now he's hitting harder than every other EZA TUR. Third appearance, 17.9. Okay, now he's hitting harder than Ginyu. Fourth appearance, 21.6. Okay, now he's getting into insane territory. And if he's slot 1 fully built up, 24.51. With support, he's hitting harder than Fizz 3Ku. That's bad offense, isn't it? So that's some shit numbers, ain't it? Pretty bad. It's pretty awful, if I do say so myself. Pretty pathetic. Mind you, by the way, he could be fully built up by turn 3. So that means that this number could be very close to this number. Or this number right here, the 17.9, could actually be 20 mil or something around there. If he does super 4 turns every turn. Or if he supers 4 times on turn 1 and turn 2 of his appearances. Or appearance 1 and appearance 2. By his third appearance, he could very well have all 10 attacks ready to go. So, just take that as you will. Again, we can even go further. By the way, credit to Noob Legend for this APT. This is obviously not mine, so credit to that guy. He's a god, goat, absolute champion of our boy, of our king here, TEQ VB, the best EZA TUR. Without question, by the way. I'm sorry, but I mean, if you prefer Fizz Future, go on. I mean, you just like taking supers. I mean, taking supers versus killing every boss and tanking every normal in the game. I mean, whatever. I mean, hey, to each their own, right? I mean, who cares? But in reality, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, obviously. But I mean, personally, I would just take Vegito any day of the week. I think he's in a tier of his own. Let's look at this other APT post. This one is credit to user budget name 7. Okay, I think that's a new face to me. Let's look here. So we have different buddies. Obviously, this is the most realistic one out of this list. And turn 1, he's at 7 mil with 285,000 defense. Pretty solid, but could be better. Turn 3 and 4. Or his second appearance, basically. Now he's at 12.2. So again, he's already hitting harder than every other EZA TUR with 365,000 defense. So his second appearance, he can tank every red zone final bosses normals, except for like I think like Bojack, Janemba, maybe 17. Obviously the ones with type advantage. And that's it. I think it's just Bojack, 17, and Janemba. Maybe there's somebody else I'm forgetting, but those are the main 3, right? And he's already taking, even against them, he's only taken like what, like 20k? Sorry for the movement, by the way. He's only taking like what, like 20k? Third appearance, 440k. Now he's tanking every single normal from every red zone boss by double digits with 18 million. So now he's on Ginyu's level. Is that good? By the way, and by the way, whenever I say he's on Ginyu's level here, I mean like with support, because Ginyu would be ran with support. So I mean, I know he's there's no optimal support units. I mean, there is, but I'll ignore it. But let's just say that with support, 25 mil, that's Ginyu level. In fact, that's better than Ginyu on average. In long events, Ginyu would be a little bit better by his third turn, I think, if he's transformed anyway. But that's if he's transformed. Might not be transformed by his third appearance, and in which case Vegito would be better. His fourth appearance, he's better than Ginyu. He's better than Ginyu, and he's approaching 3Ku levels. And then you get to his fifth appearance, 3Ku levels again. It gets even crazier whenever you look at these guys. You know, if this guy gets an EZA, look at this. Look at this defense here. Turn 9 and 10. Yeah, I mean, okay, boo-hoo. Look at this defense. That defense. Like, look, do you see this? This right here, my friends, is nuts. These are good numbers, man. These are all great numbers. I mean, I guess these are the same as this. But, like, I mean, like, look at that, right? Like, look at this. Like, he's not bad defensively. I don't know where this is coming from. Turn 1, 285,000k. Oh, that's so bad. Boo-hoo. What turn 1, like, red zone boss is doing enough damage to really hurt him a lot on normals whenever he has 285,000 defense? Can you name one? Like what? Like maybe STR Broly? Let's check. Let's check. STR Broly. How much does STR Broly hit for? Let's see. No. STR Broly, 230,000. That's his attack. He's going to have class advantage. So let's give him class advantage real quick, okay? Let's just entertain this for a second. 264,000. Let's give him the highest variance. 272,000 attack. So no, this is tanking Red Zone Broly's first phase's normals. It's almost like I've been saying that. Is he bad defensively? No. No, there's literally virtually no scenario where he's bad defensively unless you get unlucky. Boo-hoo. But even then, I showed you that getting unlucky won't matter anyway, because his defense would still be good enough. So, moral of the story, this guy, he's the king. TEQ Vegito Blue, he's the best TUR. Best EZA TUR, excuse me. And he's honestly a top 5 TUR in the game. To me, he is. I love this man to death. I will stand him because I feel like he's being completely overhated, which is why I'm making this video, by the way. And honestly, if you agree, feel free to let me know. And if you disagree, also, please feel free to let me know. I would love to talk about it in the comments section. Again, shout out to Budget Name 7 for this calc. Shout out to Noob Legend for this calc. Let's talk about Rose real quick. Here's Rose's APT. The APT shown here, as you can see on the notes, is the 4.5 turn average. That's the normal average. And it's only with 50% uptime on the final blow. So let me explain. The final blow is not as uncommon as people are making it out to be. It sucks. It's trash. I get it. But it's not awful. It can happen pretty commonly, but it can also happen uncommonly. For example, let me go over this scenario. What if Zamasu comes out and he's just an unbelievable powerhouse for part 2 and he's a leader unit? You run one rotation, you run the other on the other rotation, and you run this guy next to the first one. You're going up against Omega Shenron. Turn 1 Omega Shenron. Turn 1 Omega Shenron, the Sin Shenron and Shadow Dragons unit. They have 31 million HP with a total of 64% damage reduction and 75,000 defense. For those of you who don't know, that means that they tank pretty well. Let's say Zamasu does a ton of damage. He takes out like 3 health bars. Then the next turn, the Zamasu there takes out another 3 health bars. Then you get to this turn again. You could just put Goku block slot 1 and he can finish off Sin. That's a scenario. Or in Dokkan World's video, he actually finished off the Shadow Dragon army with this guy, even without MZ. And let's talk about him versus Bojack. Bojack has like 4 minions to take down in that first phase. That's plenty of opportunities. So while the final blow buff is not the best, I wouldn't say it's easy to get off. Again, I think people's criticism for this unit are like found in a solid and valid point, but I think it's over-exaggerated. But anyway, let's just say 50% uptime, 4.5 turn average. This is his APT, you know, with support, obviously. But yeah, and then let's just say this is a single turn, as he mentioned. This is a single turn. But let's say he has 100% uptime on his final blow, 17.62. That's insane. That's really good. That's better than every other EZA TUR except for VB. So that's nutty, because again, this is with support. VB is way higher with support. And then 100% uptime with final blow defense is 586,000. And that's with a full crit build. That's like the 586,000 defense, full crit build. That's insane, man. So yeah, no, I feel like this guy's getting a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. 444,000 defense on average. That's good, man. He gets 50% attack and defense and 3 key to extreme class Realm of Gods. He's gonna be a monster. I think he's honestly the second best EZA TUR. I would probably put him there if we get Zamasu in part 2 and Zamasu has damage reduction, because that would mean that this guy gives Zamasu enough defense to tank in slot 1, while this guy is getting tons of like multiple links off, like Nightmare. He's going to be getting off Dismal, Big Bad, and Fierce Battle from Zamasu. So he's going to be getting tons of links off. This guy's going to be great if MZ is in part 2. I mean, even if we like go back over to Chrome for a second, we look at this guy. I mean, just like Vegito, he has 160% key multiplier. And if we look at his stats again, he's got 12,216 defense and 19,721 attack. Anyways, as for the APT post for Rose, that is credit to user/xdd Ray. I'm going to try and link all of these posts in the comments. Again, I'm going to wrap up this video here. Let me know your thoughts on TEQ Vegito and his EZA, as well as SGR Rose. And do you think that I'm overrating him? Do you think that people are underrating him? Do you agree, disagree? Obviously is basically the question I'm asking. Let me know, please. I'd be very intrigued. Also, for my global player buddies, are you guys hyped for tomorrow night? I'm pretty excited myself, and I'm so thrilled to get this going, and very scared because I had horrible luck, and the reason I haven't been posting content until the 7th anniversary since Phase 3 coup, well, since technically STR go on, is because I've been shafted on literally every banner, despite going 1,000 stones deep on all of them. So, I've been trying to make content, but I can't, because I've just been getting shafted, and I have an inkling of a feeling it's going to happen again for the 7th anniversary, but I'm going to try my best to make sure it doesn't, and even if it does happen, I'll post videos even still, because I promised myself I would, so I hope you guys look forward to that. And yeah, that's it for this one. Stay safe out there, as always, as I mentioned in every video, basically. There's still, stuff going on in the world. It's getting really tough for a lot of people, and it's still dangerous out there. So just stay safe. Quit playing Dokkan if you don't like it. Keep playing it if you do. That's my motto. There's no need to play this game if you're not enjoying your time with it, and certainly don't spend money on it if you're not enjoying it, and don't do it if you can't afford it either. Know when you're addicted and know when you're being trapped, okay? So yeah, just again, stay safe. Make sure you're having fun, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye, guys. I win, losers! Also, just wanted to like say that STRVB is like super duper ass. He's really bad. Like they butchered him. 20% attack and defense. Now he really raises defense on ATK for 1 turn, and then he has like a very conditional additional super that he can't even proc whenever he goes for his 12 key and not his 18 key initially. Kind of bad. Hope you enjoyed!